Prince Andrew is facing fresh calls this morning to be stripped of his Duke of York title after settling the US civil sexual assault case brought by Virginia Giuffre.
Questions are also being asked as to how the reported multi-million-pound settlement figure will be paid, with speculation growing that the Queen may have to bail her son out personally.
So just how damaging is Prince Andrew to the Queen's reputation and legacy? Well, joining us now is royal correspondent for Newsweek, Jack Royston, and royal biographer Angela Levin, as well as the Prince Andrew case. Of course, there's also news this morning, isn't there, that Prince Charles has said he's very open, but there will be investigations because of concern of cash for honours to do with the Prince's foundation. So it feels like a storm in terms of her reputation. Jack, do you think this could damage her? I'm going to go to Angela because it seems like Jack might have frozen. Angela, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear it. So do you think this is damaging to the Queen?
I think it's a scar, but I don't think it's too damaging. I don't think that one attacks a woman of 95 who's actually been such an extraordinary monarch. She's unfortunate that she has a son who hasn't behaved well at all. In fact, it's disgusting. And I think that she sometimes she has these split things between being a mother and being a monarch. We know how dutiful she is, but sometimes she has to overwhelm that feeling and be a mother. And she obviously wants to help him out and get the whole thing over. But I don't think it actually will be over. That's the tragedy for two reasons. One is if Andrew doesn't come up with the money within 30 days, then they can go back to court and start all over again. And also that I was astonished to see that there was no lines in the agreement that would stop either of them saying any more about this dreadful situation. They have to be quiet until after the Jubilee, but then Andrew can say what he wants, and Virginia can write a book, go on TV and say whatever she likes. And so this is going to run and run. So poor woman, she's got an awful lot to bear. And yesterday my heart bled for her when she had the Defence Secretary in. And she said, "You can see I can't walk." And I thought, oh, dear me, you know, that is really the worst thing as well.
I mean, you mentioned that her son, and I presume you mean Prince Andrew, hasn't behaved well. We should also just say that he's completely denies the allegations. Could she have done anything differently?
Yes, I think she could have done, but it's always very easy to look backwards and see what you could have done. As we realise here, like COVID, you don't really know what's going to happen. I think she probably felt that it would work itself out, or there would be find a way. The whole thing of him going on television in 2019 was not praised by the royal family, but after a lot of discussion, it was decided it would be okay. That was a terrible error. I think that if she knew about that, which I believe she did, that should have absolutely been stopped, because he just it was just appalling. It was sickening.
OK, let's see if, Jack, hopefully we've got the connection sorted and you're back with us now. You seem to be moving, so that's positive.
Good start.
I mean, from the Queen's perspective, this week started with this sex scandal and it's finishing with a financial scandal, both her sons at the heart of that. I wonder sort of how she's coping with that. As Angela said, we saw her yesterday have her first face-to-face meeting since before December, since last year. And clearly, you know, she's 95 years old. She's struggling a little bit. Physically, she's struggling a little bit. But also mentally, this must be so wearing on her.
You're absolutely right. And the situation with Charles and his charity is exactly the reason why they really need to get the Andrew situation right. It's much, much harder to control what's going on with the Prince's Foundation because it's a police investigation. it's kind of out of the Queen's hands. But the Andrew situation, there is stuff that she can do. Last month, she stripped him of his royal titles and patronages and military titles, which is definitely a welcome step, but it was too late. That's what she should have done in November 2019 after the Newsnight interview, which was obviously a complete car crash. If she wasn't going to do it then, she should certainly have done it in February 2021 when she stripped Harry and Meghan of their military titles and patronages. But this situation we've had, where for almost a year, you've had Harry and Meghan stripped of their titles, but Andrew not stripped of his, when he was accused in the New York civil courts of a very serious criminal offence. That is a very stark and very clear comparison, and it's toxic for the monarchy. You can't have a situation where you have two people who are both no longer working royals. One of them's accused in the civil courts of a criminal offence, and the other one simply resigned. And, you know, Harry and Meghan have been stripped of their titles, and Andrew, for 11 months, was not stripped of his.
There's a lot of people agreeing with that, Jack, who are getting in touch with us that he is damaging the monarchy now and he should be stripped of his titles. Douglas saying it's time that he disappeared from the public's view for good. Kev says, has Andrew damaged his mum? Well, a trip to... and clearly, with mum having to dig into her own pockets to pay off the situation that he's facing, undoubtedly it has. As Angela says, I think this is not something that's going to go away anytime soon, is it? We're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. We're out of time. But both of you, thank you for joining us this morning. And thanks for all those messages. Frank saying, I think the Queen is damaging herself. She's now using the taxpayers' money. We don't know, though, yet, do we, exactly how the money's going to be...
We don't know the detail, and it is going to a sort of charity. Maybe there's a... we don't know, but it doesn't look good.
Part of it, no.
Yeah, it doesn't look good, does it? That's the problem for many, many people.